Good evening, fellow classmates, Mr. Watson. This video is in response to Jason. Jason made up a pretty good point. He's not only thinking about, the catastrophe. You're not thinking about what's going on. When you're in there, the regular civilian isn't thinking about points of egress or what would happen in case this happened. And it brings up a pretty good point about maybe person or public education. As far as maybe you go to SeaWorld or you go to Orlando, you go to all these other big conventions, and you see education, maybe not verbally, but it's in literature everywhere that you go about points of egress and what in case of an emergency. So maybe public education in the size of magnitude of places such as Bourbon would come in handy, and the inability for the people inside to make egress would put them at risk due to other types of situations. He breaks up a pretty good point about smoking is still pretty prominent in bars and places of that nature, and he brings up a good point about electrical systems being overloaded. And he goes to talk about suppression systems, and suppression systems would have played a huge role in all these fires, and even still today, with incipient sized fires, that are just starting, and they're started by a cigarette, because we all have seen it. Everybody smokes in a club or bar that still allow it, and power overloading. You got too much circuits, and not every one club's the same, but your equipment that these bands and acts or whatever you're going to see all are the same. So they must be doing something different every time, and that's cause for catastrophe in itself. Again, being a civilian, you're not thinking about your points of egress, like I had said before, and again, maybe better public education. Just on, all you see is you even go to a movie theater now, and before the credits even roll, or your previews, it points you to the exits. It dims them down and lights each one up. At least some of the movie theaters that I frequent. I mean, that goes a little bit away because it actually puts the thought in your head. So very good discussion, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.